City News on TV Rotorua is proudly brought to you by Trade Central.
Kia ora, tonight on City News. Hollywood legend Robert Redford has good things to say to museum staff. Rotorua Little Theatre Society celebrates their new patron, and the Excel Rotorua social sector trial has been extended for another year. Hollywood legend Robert Redford continues to take in the sights and culture of the city as he continues filming around the district. You may have even seen him yourself over the Easter break. Mr Redford has been reported touring Ohinimutu and St Faith's Church with our own Hollywood legend Temuera Morrison. However, his interest hasn't ended there, with museum staff telling City News that the Hollywood actor has actually been to the museum on a number of occasions.
Yes, we've been delighted to have Robert Redford and his wife through about 3 to 4 times since he's been in Rotorua filming Pete's Dragon. So a couple of times we've opened the museum specially for him at night time, and he just loves it. Like, he reads everything, asks questions, and is like, the first time he was here for about 3 hours and he only made it through half of the gallery, and been back last night in particular to see the Whittier exhibition that opened, which shows Māori weaving and also North American, which he's very interested in as well, and his wife. So it was great to have them back. They signed our visitor book last night and we finally got a photograph. So it was really neat to find someone that was so passionate about the museum as we are, really.
And Kathy Nichols says the museum is running their highly successful school holiday program again this year with exciting exhibitions and activities. Check the website for details. Dame Catherine Harcourt has been appointed patron of the Rotorua Little Theatre Society. Society President Paul Van Meert says he's thrilled to have someone as prestigious as Dame Kate as the Rotorua Little Theatre's new patron.
She got the New Zealand Order of Merit as a Dame for her life's work in theatre, and so we're very proud to have Dame Kate as our patron. Many will know her. If they don't know Dame Kate, they will know her daughter Miranda Harcourt, and also her son Gordon Harcourt, who's the presenter on television Fair Go. So I'm sure people will be familiar with them.
And what does her support, and a woman of her calibre, what does that help?
Well, I certainly think it gives us a higher profile. People will recognise just by having a dame as your patron is, as I said, won't hurt.
Yeah. Dame Kate will be a guest speaker next month at the Rotorua Spectrum Club for Women. The Excel Rotorua social sector trial has been extended for another year, allowing the trial more time to influence government investment in local education. Coordinator Rowana Bennett says Excel Rotorua's current term will now start work on a new action plan to take the initiative beyond that, with an emphasis on what the community sees as priorities in education and how these can be delivered on in a collaborative way. In sport tonight, Rotorua Boys High School Under-19 Boys Waka Armour team start the holidays as the school's latest gold medalists, taking out the gold medal in the 500-metre W6 final and silver in the 250-metre final in the recent Active Post Waka Armour Secondary School Championships held at the Blue Lake. About 1,400 paddlers from 97 schools took part over 4 days in what organisers claim to be one of the largest secondary school sports events in New Zealand.
Personally, I've been a part of something very similar to this, and I know the adrenaline that rushes through the girls and boys that are taking part in the rangatahi. It's so exciting, isn't it?
Absolutely. But it's exciting for us too, watching. And if you've done a bit of coaching, it's really exciting. You're pulling your hair out and everything.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah, especially when it comes to race day and that adrenaline goes straight through you.
Absolutely. So when you're training these kids, as a coach, you're looking at them and then you say, damn, but you know you're going to get another 5-10% on the race day. Yep. And they usually turn up with another 5-10% too.
2 other Rotorua schools, Te Kura Kaupapa Māori o Ruamata and Te Kura Kaupapa Māori o Te Koutu, also made a final. Looks like Wakaama is alive and doing well for local students. To your weather update now. Tonight, rain with light winds and an overnight low of 13. Tomorrow, Tuesday, rain, light wind, a high of 21 and a low of 15. And looking out to Wednesday, rain, not much wind, a high of 21 and a low of 15. Still to come tonight on City News, we talk with Jess Somerville about this year's Trustpower Community Volunteer Awards. We catch up with Faith Tumu about the Hippie program, and we find out what's new at Neighbourhood Support.
City News on TV Rotorua is proudly brought to you by Trade Central.
Kia ora Rotorua, thank you for joining us. Isn't it wonderful that we have the annual opportunity to really show our support and appreciation for those people in our community that love to pay it forward. With me now, I'm joined by Jess from Trustpower Rotorua Lakes Energy Awards. Well, you're more of a representative, aren't you, Jess?
Yes, so I work with Trustpower and we partner with the Rotorua Lakes Council to recognise these voluntary groups and community groups and just anywhere with these volunteers involved, basically.
Why was this started?
It was started in 1999, basically as a way to recognise those that do so much for their community. It's a really cool partnership between the council and Trustpower where we can provide a bit of the financial assistance to get the awards off the ground, and but the Rotorua Lakes Council obviously have all that local knowledge. So together we're able to have a really successful program each year that recognises these voluntary groups that just do so much right across the community.
I can understand that but why Trustpower? Why did they go, okay, let's support people, let's show them appreciation?
Yeah, sure. So I think it's really important that a corporate is involved in the communities where they operate in, and that just is definitely part of Trustpower's DNA. So we have these community awards in 27 regions across the country, whether we generate or sell electricity or we have a significant customer basis. So we're very committed to being involved in the communities where we operate in.
So do you have to be, in order to win an award, do you have to be a Trustpower client?
Definitely not. We're after any community group or voluntary group or wherever volunteers are involved, regardless of whether you're a Trustpower customer. So it's just about recognising those that do so much for their community, like you said.
And what constitutes an actual community worker or someone who pays it forwards? What constitutes that?
Yeah, basically it's just wherever volunteers are involved really, but we have the 5 categories. So we've got heritage and environment, health and wellbeing, arts and culture, sports and leisure, and education and child youth development. So that just covers the whole spectrum of where volunteers are involved. So groups go forward and they put themselves into these various categories, and we have winners and runners up and an overall winner from the awards night that covers all of those categories. So there's about $5,000 to give away. So just a little bit of an extra pat on the back for those groups that do well.
Now it goes from regional all the way up, doesn't it? So why is that?
So just last weekend we had the Trustpower National Community Awards, and that involves the winner of every single region coming together and we celebrate their achievements. So we've just had Janet Wepper, Kim Shearer and Karen Barker from the Empowered Learning Trust, well, Janet's a counsellor, come away with us to Wellington last weekend. So unfortunately they missed Crankworks, but they were able to enjoy an incredible weekend with so many inspiring stories of community groups from across the country. So they did really well there, and it was really neat to have them along.
And so who was the winner?
So the overall winner was a group called, oh my gosh, their name's going to escape me.
Do you know what they were involved with? What they did?
Sorry, they're called Focus Paihia. So there's this incredible group based in Paihia. Basically about 400 volunteers got together and just completely revitalised a car park into this community space with public seating, public lighting. Now families head down there. It's right on the waterway. It's a beautiful spot. There's a piano for music to be played by different people, a public free library and taking place inside a telephone box. And then runner-up, we had a group actually wearing one of their bracelets now called Central Otago REAP, and they run a Sticks and Stones program that basically tries to address online bullying, cyberbullying and youth suicide. So it's run by a 15-year-old and a 17-year-old, and there's a group of them all around that age group that get together and really, they're trying to basically roll out the program across the country, but it's pretty incredible what these young people are achieving.
Absolutely incredible. So for the winner, what does this mean?
For the winner of the Rotorua Awards, they receive $1,500, they receive a big certificate, a big trophy, and they head along to the Nationals. So next year's Nationals is going to be in Dunedin.
Very, very cool. Can we just have a little, if you remember the award winners from the previous years, just to give people an idea of who you might be in the community and whether or not you actually can put your name forward?
Cool. So over the years, we've had the Mountain Bike Club, we've had Flavoursome, the awesome group that get all the lovely mums out there moving and shaking and keeping fit. And that was last year's winner. Prior to that, who else have we had? We've had the Neighbourhood Support Trust. We've had, oh gosh, I handle a few regions, so it's a bit much to put up any more names than that.
Could you volunteer someone else's organisation for the award?
Absolutely. So we get a lot of entries from people who aren't part of the group, but they're just really keen to put that group forward. They might have read about them in the paper, or they might have heard about them from a friend, and it's all anonymous, so they're quite keen to sort of sneak an entry in on that group's behalf. And then the group receives a letter saying, congratulations, you've been entered for the awards, and we just require a little bit more information. So it's a really easy process, takes about 2 minutes to enter a group, and we really encourage people to get behind their voluntary groups. These people don't do it for the recognition, but it's just such a neat pat on the back for when they do. We get told all the time at the awards, we don't even know who entered us. We're just really grateful and amazed that someone's thought to do this on our behalf. So it's a really neat process.
Thank you very much for your time, Jess. Is there anything else you'd like to add?
Just make sure you get your entries in before Friday the 24th of April. Thanks very much for having me.
Absolutely, it's been a pleasure. Thank you. Kia ora Rotorua, and thank you very much for joining us. Do you have a young family? Would you like to become a hippie? Well, actually, no, it's not quite hippie. It's actually acronym, FAITH. What does hippie stand for?
It stands for Home Interaction Program for Parents and Youngsters.
Talk about the program with us, please.
So basically we provide free games and activities for parents to play with their children at home. It's for children between 3.5 and 4.5. That's how they need to be to start our program. And basically it's to complement the learning that the child is getting at their kohanga or their childcare centre or their kindergarten. So it's to complement it after the child has been to their kohanga, kindergarten or childcare centre. They would then come home and do a quick 15 minutes of games and activities with their parent, which is really educational, being able to learn skills such as reading and writing, early maths concepts, listening skills, following instructions, also logical thinking and problem solving.
So why was this program started?
It was started to build confidence for parents, knowing that they can actually teach their children, not only relying on the teachers at childcare centres, but that they can do it too. And, we're extension of PAFT as well, so Parents as First Teachers, so we're quite strong with that. But it's to complement the learning that is at the kohanga childcare centres and the kindergartens.
Really sounds like that these children that take part in the program and parents are getting a head start.
Definitely getting a head start. I hear so many magic moments, wow moments from the parents, the experiences that they have. Maybe their child is with the whānau and the whānau see their child maybe saying, look mum, I've made a column of cars, and the whānau thinking column, who uses the word, what 4-year-old uses the word column, so just one word, but that's what we also do is extend their language as well.
And so how long are you on the program for?
It's a 2-year program, so it is a long time commitment, but it's beneficial, proven to be beneficial. So
you start around 3 or 4?
Yes, so they need to start between 3.5 and 4.5. Mm-hmm. So if they start when they're 3.5, with it being 2 years, then they'll finish when they're 5.5.
And so by the time they turn 5, ready for school, they've already got what it what they need, the basics. Yeah?
Absolutely, like letter recognition skills, also fine motor control, like being confident to hold their scissors properly and being able to cut, and even holding their pencil properly as well, or their pen or their crayon. Also the imagination is also developed, their creativity, and also teaching the parents how they can nurture that in their child, like really appreciating the art that their child is doing at their level and the way that they want to do it.
Well, you know, it is hard enough that children don't come with manuals the day that they're born, and then they go off to be educated, and it leaves us as parents with a sense of, are we doing a good enough job? Are we doing the right job? So a very supportive program for the parents. Tell me some of the feedback.
Well, the magic moments, they feed back to me every week. They fill out a report after they've finished that week of games and activities with their child.
I know that after school curricular activities or extracurricular activities, especially those that support education, they're not cheap, are they? However, this is a little bit different, isn't it?
Absolutely. So our program is free. Hippie is free. If parents can afford to give us a koha of $1 a week, then it is accepted, and we appreciate that. But that money goes towards our end of year celebration anyway, and it's fantastic.
So how do the parents get on board with the program?
They can contact me, or just contact me really.
Yeah. Where are you based?
We're based in Family Focus here in Pukaki Street, 1115 Pukaki Street. So based here. This is where we have our group meetings as well.
Very cool. And a number, please?
The contact number is 346 2096.
Well, there you have it, Rotorua community. Free education to help support the growth of your young tamariki. So contact Faith and the team down here at Family Focus. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
Kia ora Rotorua, you know it's in all our interest to keep safe and to keep each other safe. Bruce Quedley here from Neighbourhood Support, who is based at the new Flash Rotorua Police Office. Bruce, how have things been going with Neighbourhood Support?
Things have been going very well with Neighbourhood Support. Generally, our membership's growing all the time, but we never have enough members. No matter where we are, we always have crime happening, and in areas where neighbourhood support groups are located, there's less crime. And so we encourage people to join neighbourhood support group, and I'd love to have more work. And in certain areas around town, we have had some areas where burglaries have been occurring, such as in Glenholme and Hillcrest. And we'd like the people in those areas to up their security and get to know their neighbours, so they know if there's something going on, they can report it, and not to be afraid to report anything that's occurring.
Are there trends with crimes?
Trends, they fluctuate really. Sometimes some crimes occur during school periods and others at school holiday periods, but you can't really say there are trends as such. We always have burglaries, we always have theft from cars, we always have unlawful taking of motor vehicles. So they still go on. They fluctuate. February was a bad month for us, so we had a bit of a peak there, but it's come back down to a normal level now.
So it's hard to predict. Are we more at risk during festive seasons?
Sometimes yes, but generally, as long as people take sensible precautions, things occur in areas even when that happens. But when people are away, it does tend to have a situation where people may find burglaries do occur, and the thing is to prepare when people are going away, to ensure that neighbours know to keep an eye on places, and you have somebody who will clear letterboxes and you stop mail, because you always get junk mail coming into your letterbox. It's a sure sign for somebody looking around that there's no one home. So get friendly with your neighbours, get them to help you out, And if that fails, always get a friend or a family member to come and clear it every day.
Every single day. So once we start getting wise about the antics that individuals are up to, do they then change their antics?
They move to another area normally. Now, unfortunately, that does happen, is that the police get on top of a particular area and then you might have burglaries popping up somewhere else. Some criminals do this all the time, and they just move around until they get a soft area and they work on it. What we're trying to do is to ensure that our communities are safe and crime-free.
Safe and crime-free, I like it. So what's new?
What's new? We're working with a team of volunteers going into supermarkets and the big box stores like the Warehouse and Farmers, identifying people who aren't monitoring their handbags, cell phones, wallets, leave them on a trolley and go off do their shopping, and they come back and they're missing. Or they come to pay for their goods and they find they don't have their wallet there anymore. What we're doing with the volunteers is they go into the supermarkets and the other stores and observe, and if they see an unattended bag or whatever on a trolley, they'll put one of our pamphlets on, Safeguard Your Handbag. And basically it's an education thing. It's not because we think that there is more of this going on, but part of Neighbourhood Support's work is to educate. And this is part of that education process of ensuring that people are aware of the danger of leaving something unattended.
So there you have it, sort of look at this little sign. If you see it on your bag, it means that you've just purely left it unattended and available for an opportunist to take it. So it's not a flyer, it's not trying to sell you anything in particular, it's more of a reminder. And I'm going to tell you a secret, Bruce. Yes. I've had first-hand experience with this. Fortunately for me, it wasn't a wallet or anything of great value, but I can tell you that it still made me feel victimised. It still made me feel invaded. But the main focus there for me was it can happen anywhere. It can happen at any time, in any situation, and it leaves you feeling victimised.
That's right, and you don't want to have that feeling. You feel your world has been gutted, your privacy has been breached, and we want to try and avoid that. We want people to have good feelings. And recently I did a pop-up shop in the library for Neighbourhood Support, and I asked the staff there if I could go around with these and check out. And it's good to say that in my 4 tours of the 3 floors of the library, I didn't have to put one of these down. But sometimes people may leave a cell phone somewhere and they go off to get a shelf to find a book, and the cell phone disappears. Now, staff there can't keep an eye on everything all the time, and same thing in supermarkets. The staff are there looking after the shop. You've got to look after your own gear. So you've got to ensure that you keep it safe. For ladies, often handbag over the shoulder and keep it with you all the time. Cell phones in your pocket or in your handbag so that you don't leave it lying around where it can be taken.
Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you very much.
That was Neighbourhood Support Coordinator Bruce Quedley talking to Melanie Groves. You can catch up with City News via our website or YouTube channel. Just search City News Rotorua. Thanks for joining us tonight. We hope you've had a wonderful long weekend. Ko Maria.
Supporting local content so you can see more of New Zealand on air.
City News on TV Rotorua was proudly brought to you by Trade Central.